It's time for Commonwealth Common Sense with Susan Stimpson and Kevin Scholla.
Hello, Susan. Welcome back.
Kevin, hello. Nice to be here.
So as President Obama and the left continue to push forward their far-left policies ahead of these 2014 elections, you have to have some pushback from the other side. The problem is the GOP far from united on that front.
Yes, I think that there is a concern among Republicans, really among Americans right now, at the leadership, and it starts, from the top down. I think what we've seen with President Obama is he's been masterful and very, very determined on pushing forward his policy here in the United States. However, it's been divisive, and now that we have an issue that's a foreign policy issue, and we're seeing a lack of leadership, I think you're seeing among at least the Republican Party, there's a little bit of an exposure when you have that type of divisive leadership from the top down. Then comes the issues within the party itself, and we have a strong, large group among the Republican Party that's pushing back and saying enough, yet we see a lot of our Republican leaders, it's exposing that they're not really willing to get into this kind of battle, and maybe it's because they're not quite as dedicated to those principles as we thought, and this is the first time that they've really been pressed on them.
Yet they are willing to attack Tea Party members who are supposed to be in the same party, the Republican Party, a lot of them, although there are people who aren't Republicans certainly in the Tea Party, but a lot of those who are elected certainly are. But you see people like Mitch McConnell, this tough talk, he sounds like a WWE wrestler, the milquetoast, speaking these tough words in press releases and whatnot, saying, he's going to crush the Tea Party, going to put his foot on the neck of the Tea Party, things of that nature, paraphrasing here. But this is who he's attacking, instead of an administration that's bumbling and failing in foreign policy and far-left legislators that are taking our liberties away day after day. He's attacking Ted Cruz. I mean, it just doesn't make sense.
I'm not quite sure what has happened to our party, but this is not the party that I've spent the last 2 decades, volunteering and fighting so hard for, and being in elected office the last 4 years, just really implementing the principles of the Republican creed. But, as we were speaking today, that I'm in the middle of Eric Cantor territory, going in trying to help some of the grassroots that are literally being voted out of the opportunity to attend our district conventions and the statewide convention in Roanoke that's coming up this May, where we would select our U.S. Senate nominee. We have Republican elected officials that are rallying their people to show up at these meetings and vote out grassroots activists that have worked for years to even help get some of these people elected into office. So I think right now there's definitely a battle within the Republican Party, but I just wish that our leaders would turn toward what the opponent is, and it's not their fellow Republicans. So I think this is something that's just going to be a continued story.
And all you can really do is get them at the ballot box in a primary situation. That's what Governor Palin is doing right now. You see T.W. Shannon, for example, in Oklahoma, or Chris McDaniel in Mississippi. These aren't guys that have the nomination yet. They're going up against, establishment Republicans. So Palin has it right. It's not just these elected Democrat incumbents or challengers that you'll have to beat in November. You first have to knock off some of these GOP establishment types who are draining us in so many ways, just like the Democrats.
It seems to be the only thing that they understand. So yes, I would agree.
All right, Susan. Well, we appreciate it, and we appreciate that you keep getting up every day and doing these things, despite the fact that a lot of times it's disheartening when you see the results and not only apathy, but also just the inside baseball that's played by people in the party that we're supposed to be a part of.
All I can do is, just be faithful to the truth, and that's all any of us can do. So it's worth the fight.
Susan Stimpson, talk to you next week.
Thanks, Kevin.